Hello friends, welcome back. This is Tezos. We'll be taking a look at Tezos versus Bitcoin, as we have up here in the 4-hour time frame behind me. And if I scroll down, we'll also be taking a look at Tezos versus the US dollar in a moment or two. So thanks so much for tuning in. I really hope that the camera is still working. It should be. Got no idea why it wasn't before, and I've made it like cleared off space from it and everything else. It should still be working right now. Well, only time will tell. And let's just see then where's the prices come to. Well, up to this 50% retrace level here. We've bounced around a couple of times. We've not managed to actually get above it, but we've been living above the 21 moving average. That's good to see overall here on the 4-hour time frame. And we have a slight upward trend, perhaps, just about to be, if we could see the prices come up here to 3,263 or so, and actually close out the 4-hour, there are 15 minutes left on this, or the next, in the next wee while, then we could be looking at this as being a sort of 4-hour upward trend. If, we come up here again and get another high, are we doing a sort of little doubly top thing here or something, what could be happening? Let's just keep an eye out for that, but I feel like it's natural enough. We've got this resistance in here. Things have been going fairly well, but this is a profit taking area nevertheless. I want to see the prices actually get here above here and establish themselves up the way, so that we could then look towards the next area, up towards the 618 for a golden pocket type retrace here on this thing. And right now where we are is it's just yet again at the profit taking zone from having had our previous sort of lows in and around that area up to where we are now. That's another 7.5%. So we're doing all right here on Tezos, and that's good to see. But can we see the prices actually go on up and achieve something here? If this is a 4-hour upward trend, looking at this high, and then we set in another high, the chances are that we'll be doing that with a touch of divergence here on the RSI. That's just what it looks like currently, with it being down here. Now that's okay, but it's a warning sign. What are we looking at in the face of that? Well, maybe we'd see a rejection of the bullish control zone at that time it was happening. Perhaps we'd see it turn around, come down, and retest these other areas like the EMA and the neutral line. We could also see it coming in with a touch of it on the stochastics too. Overall, that wouldn't be that great, but you could maybe do that around the 618 and feel satisfied that there was a good profit taking target for all of that to have happened at. If that were to continue like this and just be a warning sign, which then materializes later, or if it materializes now, really, then what are we looking at? Well, this would be a lower high potentially here over here, which would mean that it's not actually divergent on the oscillators down below. It's convergent because it's lower, but and maybe we'd be looking at having had some sort of consolidation phase just kicking off here just for now, with a higher low and a lower high, and just sort of have to sort of take a breather, and that might be okay, because like we say, and then that would allow these oscillators to reset, and that question therefore of going up here and doing all that under the guise of bearish divergence might sort of shake itself out a little bit by that stage and be okay again. Over here though, looking down this, the strength of trend isn't really there in terms of the ADX. We've got a decent enough divergence here, but we could have that happen, after a wee phase of consolidation like we're speaking about. Could we then see this come up and actually start to look like we're getting a proper trend towards the upside on the 4-hour time frame? If that's going to last for longer than just this area here, yeah, sure, it could do at that point, and that would be interesting. Could see a high come in here, come back down, and then you could see a reversal type pattern such as a head and shoulders again here in this general area, if that were to happen over the sort of longer period of time. But let's not anticipate that in advance necessarily, and just think of these things as being profit taking lines anyhow that we're at currently, and that what the next one we have up in advance of us there now. So then let's stick on a Fibonacci retracement, and I'll be done here in just a second, and I'm not going to add in tons of all this sort of stuff, but just to see, are we maintaining ourselves above is this an invalid Fibonacci retracement? Going wick to wick there, you can see that it's invalid, so to speak. We never actually open and close below here. But we come down and tested it, so that's kind of good. And if we go sort of body to body instead, there, then you can see that it just tested it but didn't actually even get below it. So, you know, let's just hope that that remains the case. Looking towards that price of 3,000, we did stay above to sort of maintain that. Talked too long, sorry, about Bitcoin prices. Let's go over to the dollar prices and have a look. Did I spend the whole entire time on the 4 hour time frame? Well, I might have done, and if so, that's the case. Well, that's what we looked at. Now let's look over here. Then you've got this. We've got the 21 having crossed above the 50 simple. I don't really, you know, look towards that as being a relationship that you need to see happen, but it is good, you know, that overall this is just what we expect. And where we've come in so far, we want to see the prices, of course, going above this 235 area. Try and come up here and touch maybe 250 to get the higher highs in and continue this sort of overall upward channel that we're in at the minute, if that's what this actually is, rather than it being something else like a wedge or whatever. I don't know, but you know, just in general, can we come up here and try and get up to as high as that? Yeah, we could. Overall, though, not going to be too concerned about whether or not we're sitting in with the lows, even if we do come down and test at this 21 and this 50 simple moving average in that area, because the lows is, of course, this line here. If we're above that at 189, then this could be a higher low as part of an overall upward trend. It could be. So, you know, so we can remain bullish on that. But overall, we've managed to actually stay above that line there, the 382 at $2.15, which has been our main sort of first port of call, asking the questions about it. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, that's financial advice, but that could have been an easy enough entry point for a low risk management long, for instance. And then up here, we do have a profit taking line, like as we're seeing as experience, you know, in that area of, I don't need to zoom right out, of 230 anyway. So, you know, that's what's going on at the minute. There's been decent enough trading to be having in between times, and we're slightly divergent here on the stochastics, bearishly. Same with the MACD, but not so much on the on the DMI or on the RSI, and we got rejected from the bullish control zone on our first sort of attempt here at this one. Can we make another attempt and actually do it as part of coming up here for a higher high, or will we see things turn around? I don't know. Those are the questions which we've discovered by looking at the charts. As we say on the show, we actually look to the charts to kind of figure out what the questions are, as opposed to necessarily finding the answers. And that's a good way to do it. Hold your opinions, get strong opinions. Sure, hold them weekly. Be adaptable. Be ready to change, and see what, you know. Try and anticipate what the market would be looking like if, you know, so that you can play it like a chess game and know a couple of moves in advance what the psychology might be, and that helps reduce your own sort of FOMO and fearfulness, because you can think about things in advance. For instance, if the price has got to 250, would it be a good idea to take profit in that area? Well, you know, you could be coming up here towards the top end of the channel where we've got the 50% retracement line at, and that would be quite good. And at some point as well, you know, I actually don't have all of the oscillators on there, but all the oscillators will be fanning out towards the upside, and maybe, or the moving averages, and maybe you'd see some retests of some of those along the way. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. I really kind of wish I hadn't undone those. I'm going to redo them. Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in. I've also made a Chainlink, Ethereum, and Bitcoin video today. Let me know if you want to see a different video as well in the comments below with the bonus videos, because I do them from time to time. Of course, let me know how you're getting on. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're all really well out there, and that there's no coronavirus in your area, and everybody in your family and everybody is really well. So thank you so much. Let's just see, you know, I suppose a short summary on this one. 230 is a profit taking target. If we see the prices turn around, pardon me, from just here, it could be doing a short-term sort of consolidation, drawing that on really rough there, in this area. So we'll look towards the sort of $2 and the 230 is the range. We're happy to see the prices above the 215 area, which is the sort of first risk management area as a summary. And if we come up towards the tops here, we'd be hitting the 50% at 250 and the top of the channel. So that would be another profit taking area. And if we come down to this area here and fake out of the channel, or need to readjust this in some way, or something else like that, whatever, then you know, you start to worry at 189 and $2 and stuff like that. You could easily see price turn around, though, at these different things like the 50 simple, the 21, our horizontal line here at 189, and where our previous low was in terms of just sitting in a higher low, you know, overall. And that would be you'd have to look at it at the time. Could you potentially have divergence on the go? Well, there's a little bit there and a little bit there, but there's none here and there's none there, and kind of, you know, score draw in that sense. We want to see this actually go above 20 again, sort of just here. We want to see this go up just want to see this go up there and actually say, yeah, you're trending towards the upside, and have these continue to kind of diverge and whatever just for now. That would be good, rather than them doing the opposite and crossing over again. So that's kind of how we'll be looking at that over the next while. Thanks so much. I'll catch you in the next episode. This was a bit longer than I intended, but yeah, great. Anyway, cool. Like, subscribe, share it with a friend, all that jazz. Do these daily. So as always, thanks so much for tuning in.